How's it going, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the Custom Tactics Exploits and Gameplay Analysis. In this episode, we're going to be looking at Bruma, who currently is number 1, I think, in the world in FUT Champions. We're looking at some of his gameplay and particularly looking at how he uses tactics to maximum efficiency and what exploits does he use to achieve those results. And I'm going to be trying to just break them down, giving you some in-depth analysis, some insights to how he uses his tactic and what you can do to improve your play so this can work for you and you can go unbeaten. Yeah, so I started with him. If you watched my last video, you've probably seen I looked at 3 people's tactics, and in this video I've used him because personally I've been using this tactic myself and I've gone 50 plus games unbeaten. So I would recommend using it. I had to do some switching from my old formation and tactics to kind of get used to this, but once I did, I seem to be very confident in each game and winning pretty much all of them. So I would definitely recommend checking out the last video if you don't know what his tactics are, to get to grips with them, and then come back to this video and watch how to use it. Yeah, so let's get started. So first I'm basically looking at, like I said, exploits using these custom tactics and this formation. It's not really a defensive or attacking tutorial, so there will be attacking and defending, of course, but this is mainly looking at the transition. I picked this kit specifically because it highlights some of these points. The 3 things we're going to be looking for is exploiting our image of being a high pressure and aggression player. Basically, this means even though we're using very high pressure, very high aggression, through doing this often enough, our opponents are going to try and adapt to us and pass it very quickly through our lines, and if we can exploit this, we can start winning the ball back in favourable positions for us. The second point is quick transitions, creating 3 versus 2 situations against the opponent's centre backs. Basically, this scenario and this formation and these tactics pop up time and time again, and I'm going to show you how to kind of recognise when these situations occur and how basically to exploit it. And the third point here is using our central midfielders to occupy the fullbacks. This basically means that in this formation, despite us having 2 narrow central midfielders, they're going to kind of get forward in the winger positions to essentially pull the fullbacks out because they have to watch them and track them, which basically exposes the 2 centre backs to the strikers, and with the instructions for getting behind, they're both going to be pulled out. And what we're looking for is basically to break the defensive line where one centre back is either ahead or behind the other one, and 9 times out of 10 we can kind of exploit that space if we don't make a mistake. So yeah, let's get on to the footage. So we start here where Bruma has the ball. We're going to be passing. Notice that despite the high passing, he's not going straight forward. He's still waiting for the space. He runs forward now. He loses the ball. Now first we slow it down and we get to our first point of analysis. What we saw there is as soon as he lost the ball, the player highlighted there was running towards the ball as he went with his general strategy of pressing, but he realizes very quickly that he's not near enough to the ball when the pass is made to do anything. So you can see he uses the L2, which is essentially you can use it to control your player to not press. So he pulls back. I'm going to see how he pulls back now. The opponent passes quickly thinking he's going to press him, and he should get the ball here. So yeah, opponent passes again, and we intercept it. So moving on to the next clip now, same thing. Opponent passes out, central midfielder there goes to press the ball, but again we see we're quite close this time, so there is a chance. The best way to change player quickly is basically to use the right analog stick, but again this is not a defensive tutorial, so I'd suggest if you want to see a really good defensive tool where you learn how to use a second man press, how to jockey properly, in general how to keep your shape, I'd suggest a video by a pro Dutch FIFA player called Soti, I believe it is. Yeah, I'll tag that video in the description if you want to check it out. So yeah, I'd suggest that. It's a really good video. But yeah, here we move forward to try press the ball, but we can't. So really we should be moving back here, but he goes for it, miss it, the next player comes out, the centre back is in trouble, he's going to try and win the ball here, we're in big trouble. I think the big point here is that you need to be good in 1v1 defending, because if you're not, you can really get exposed time after time using these tactics. So he passes it. We see our other defender I think that's our CDM actually, gets caught out. He'd run towards us. Our last centre back, which is our last line of defence, there you can see our line's really high up. We see quickly change. The striker takes a bad touch. He starts running quickly. Now defender goes to catch up, makes the tackle, which is good defending. Here we're going to see this thing I was talking about again with the player switching. You see that? And the cutting out of the pass. So yeah, here we can see as soon as he passes, the pass hasn't reached it, and we've used the right analog stick to switch player. That's what I was talking about earlier. We're going to see as soon as we can't reach the ball, we're going to switch players again to the nearest to put pressure. There we go. We can't close the first player. So he passes, so now we go to try and cut the pass lane. If we miss that, we're going to switch to the next player behind him. So he passes, we switch, he passes again. Again, you can see he's just passed the ball and we switched already to the next player. So we run again, we try and press him, but the distance is too big, so we need to start recognising the size of the gap. So we move back to cut the passing lane. He cuts, and now we're in a really important position. We cut the pass out, and we're in this 3 versus 2 situation that I mentioned beforehand. And what we need to look at here, if you look at the mini-map, you can see that there's the cam and the 2 strikers up top. The fullbacks, I believe, are wide and too wide to really cover the ball if this ball moves fast. So we've seen with the tactics, he has 90, I believe, on passing. We're going to pass it really quickly. And here you can see our player has 2 options. You can either pass it to the cam or to the striker. And if you look at the minimap, this is why it's really important to start looking at the minimap in these situations, just to glance at it. And after repetition, you'll kind of get it by just having a quick look, and you'll see the picture really, really quickly. So in this scenario, we elect to pass to the striker, and we're quick, short passing. We're trying to get out to the goal as quick as possible. So we pass it to the striker, and now we can see the defense is in trouble. We've created this scenario which is going to occur time after time, where now it's coming into our striker. Our left striker, we can see, is running towards goal. The fullback's kind of been taken out of the picture there, and our cam, after not receiving the ball, has run forward off his defender. And now you can see the 3 versus 2. We're trying to create this overload in between these centre backs. That's the strength of this formation. That's the strength of these tactics, exploiting these 2 centre backs. So he passes up top quickly, makes another pass so he doesn't lose the ball, and then his left back is in trouble now. And now he does a skill. But the important thing is to see here now, if we look at the defensive line, yeah, the 2 centre backs are separated. The defensive line is broken, which is good. But now the fullback's got across, and there's 2 centre backs on 1 player. We don't really have an overload. The important part is here. If we look in our shape, we see is that centre mid there that I've highlighted. And we can see he's starting to run forward. And what's going to happen when this clip progresses is that he's going to cause a problem for the fullback now, because the fullback has to watch the central midfielder running forward. He can't let him run free. And we start to see this attacking shape developing, which we're going to see over and over again in this series. He passes the cam now, and all of a sudden, from this central midfielder making a run forward, there are options. There are a lot of options. You can see, like I said, the midfielder on the right closest to the bottom of the screen has made that run forward. We can look for him with an over-the-top ball if we want. But, like I said before, we're going to be exploiting these 2 centre-backs. And what happened here, if you look in the green box that I've circled, now our other wide central midfielder, or narrow in the formation, but, you know, on the left side of midfield, has started to occupy the right back. So what's going to happen here is now the right back has to follow the central midfielder, which now leaves that 1 striker you can see in the middle, and the striker we can see offside against the 2 centre backs. And now that 1 striker who's in front of the centre backs will be running behind. the central striker that's offside will get back onside, and you're going to see how this is really important. Now to take your time, no need to sprint, just evaluate your options, move slowly, and our striker is now onside, and they both start making the runs in behind, and now we can see the scenario that I was talking about. The left centre back has broken line with his partner, both strikers are running forward, and what that means is that one of them is going to be left, because the one striker that's on the right centre back is occupied, and if he's fast enough, so you have a Vardy or someone like that running behind, he's going to lead the centre back, and that one of them are going to be free. And you can see the left back has pulled out the wide midfielder, so that gives space for our two strikers. So we pass it here, and now we stop it once again, and we can see now it's 2 versus 1 in the penalty box. And this is the scenario that we're looking for in this formation. This is what we want to try and do. So now we have the two options. We can either pass square and he's 1-on-1, or we can just run forward and try and take a shot. The strikers running in behind has allowed the defender to split, and now when you have 1 versus 2 defenders, he can't get tight enough to either of them, so pretty much it's an easy goal. So yeah, he takes it forward, takes a shot on, and he scores the goal. And yeah, that's the one clip I wanted to show you for this episode, and we're just going to go over the final takeaways for this video. So, tip 1. High pressure and aggression doesn't mean pressing always. Just because we have high pressure and aggression doesn't mean we need to press like headless chickens. Like you saw in the video, you need to start watching for the distance between the player with the ball and your player, and making those judgments very quickly. As soon as you change player to press, if the gap is too big, you start pressing and you back off. Tip 2. Remember the custom tactics and formation suits exposing the central defenders, like I said before, breaking their line using quick passing. Tip 3. Improving the 1v1 defending, like I said, really important for this tactic to work. Tip 4. When the 3 versus 2 situation disappears, what we need to start looking out for now, if we want to break the defensive line, is for our left and right central midfielders in this formation to break forward and occupy their fullbacks, which basically gives our space to our strikers who are running in behind. Basically, I'm going to be doing a Pogba giveaway once I get to 500 subscribers. If you're not on the right platform, I'll do a t-shirt giveaway or something cool anyway. But yeah. Anyways, like, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed watching this video, and thanks for watching, guys. Just stay tuned.